When on Miami Dolphins fans, welcome to the Fins Up Network. It's Ben Morgan, and we got a little live stream action following today's big win. As you see, as you know, Dolphins defeat the Cleveland Browns 39-17, and we've got a lot of reasons for some celebratory beer. So I'm going to let you take a drink with me. Hell of a Dolphins win. Complete Dolphins win. Probably the most complete game that we have played this year. 4-game winning streak heading into the bye week. 7-3 heading into the bye week. Atop the AFC East heading into the bye week. Because if you saw the end of that Bills-Vikings game, Justin Jefferson with one of the most unreal catches that you'll ever see. Get that game, go into overtime, get Josh Allen to throw that interception at the end, which means the Dolphins are a half game ahead of both the Vikings or against the Bills and the Jets heading into that bye. And on a personal note, one more celebratory drink. Woke up this morning, was checking some things out, responding to a few comments on some videos, saw that we had hit 2,000 subscribers. So thank you so much to all of you out there who have subscribed. And if you haven't done so already yet, please do so if you wouldn't mind. And I want to hear your comments as well. So throughout the live stream, and even if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead, drop your thoughts to the game in the comments below. I'm only going to hit as many as I can. If you've got thoughts, if you've got questions, whatever you've got, go ahead and hit them. I will end up talking about some of them on the stream, and I will also comment on some of them if I catch you after the stream is done. But let's get into some top takeaways from today's huge win. And I'd be fooling myself if I didn't lead off with the defense, because Dolphins fans, defense can indeed be played. And we didn't think that was going to be the case. That first drive was your typical Miami Dolphins 2022 NFL season first drive. Give up the big special teams return. We start with Kader Kohou being beat deep on a long ball, and you're just like, oh, we're back to doing this. We're back to doing this. And then it's more of the mental things. 2 penalties, one of them being in the end zone, putting the ball on the 1-yard line. You give up that touchdown, and you're instantly like, here we go. We've done it throughout the entire year. We're going to be in a back-and-forth game. It's going to be a shootout. We're going to need the ball at the end, win this thing then. But I tell you what, after that, so damn much better. Nick Chubb on the Cleveland Browns, one of the NFL's leading rushers, leading rushing teams. We hold him to 63 rushing yards, and 33 of them came on his touchdown run. There was literally like 2 yards or 3 yards per carry before that. I tell you what, you're going to have that happen. You're going to have that happen against a Nick Chubb. You don't end up being, I think, the NFL's leading or second leading running back by not having carries like that. Hell of a day by them. Xavier Howard, I wanted to talk about him because that matchup with Amari Cooper was one of the top things I wanted to watch in the game, because we've seen years past where he shut Amari Cooper down, and then we've seen it more recently when Amari Cooper was at the Cowboys, where Cooper just ate him up. And the way that game started, you're like, Cooper's kind of, and then Xavier Howard, what's he come and do? He settles in. He settles in the way Xavier Howard does. Cooper finishes with 3 catches, 32 yards, no touchdowns. And then adding to the secondary, Justin Bethel stepping in for Keon Crossan. Once he went down, he gets 2 passes defended. Arm was in the perfect spot on so many of those balls. Kader Kohou struggles early. Our defense struggled early. We woke up. We didn't take us till halftime this time. It was beautiful. It didn't take us till halftime this time. He got in. He ended up with 3 PBUs. And one other thing I wanted to talk about defensively as well, the pass rushers. This was the game I wanted to see, because on my 2 TVs, on my other TV, I was watching the Bears game. I wanted to see how Justin Fields did. Guess what? It's not just us. That dude runs around against literally everybody. So I was excited to see a game against a more stationary type of quarterback, a more traditional quarterback. We sack him 3 times. Christian Wilkins gets 1. Melvin Ingram gets 1. And then Chubb and Phillips both have a half a sack. And my favorite play from the pass rushers, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's the 4th quarter. It's when we're up 16 points. And you've got Melvin Ingram and Jaelan Phillips on one side, and they run a perfectly executed stunt that lands perfectly, as guess who's running around the other side? Bradley Chubb running around the other side. The three of them have a meeting at the quarterback. That's what we've been wanting to see, and we got it today. And those are the situations. When you're up 16, you can pin your ears back. You can get after the quarterback. You can put the game away, and that's what happened. You get the sack, and I believe it was literally the next offensive play. Jeff Wilson scores. You go up 3 scores. Let me see what I've got here. I got a couple of comments that had come in. Chad pops in. Number 1 in the division going into the bye week is huge. Chad could not agree more. That is exactly what we set out to accomplish to do today. Get this win, go into the bye week with some momentum, and it's even more momentum than we had probably planned on thinking, because once Josh Allen, once it was announced that he was going to end up playing, it's like, you know what? It's probably going to be a tough test for the Vikings. And they were winning pretty good too. The Vikings had to make a comeback win. So yes, all the even more reason to be excited up there. Got to show a couple more here. Best week of football this year for us. Afterbic. I love the name. Let me take a drink to that. Abso-freaking-lutely, my man. Abso-freaking-lutely. Let's go back into some of my recaps as well. I'll get more of the comments and questions as they come in here as well. Let's talk a little offense, because we got to see the Tua, Waddle, Hill impact. I got the Tyreek shirt on today just for this, exactly the game day shirt. We saw it for probably the first time where an opposing team was so threatened by these three and the performance and the execution that they've had, that the lanes that were created in the running game, I'm a 35-year-old male that would be lucky to crack a 5.40 at this point in time. I probably could have ran pretty well in those lines. And a lot of the love has to go to the offensive line as well. I'm going to get to their shout out in a little bit, but I really think a lot of this was that Tua, Waddle, Hill impact. You could even see it in the passing game. Tua was kind of in his pocket, didn't see the stuff in the medium to deep, and he had the time to kind of check down, but that's because the Browns were playing coverage in a way that they didn't want to be exposed by Tyreek and Jaelan Waddle the way the Lions have, the way the Bears have. So guess what? You got to give up something, and it came in the form of the running game today. Jeff Wilson, 17 carries, 119 yards. That's 7 yards per carry. Raheem Mostert, 8 carries, 65 yards and a touchdown. 8.1 yards per carry. As a team, we go 33 carries, 195 yards. That's 5.9 yards per carry. And I tell you what, if this run game can continue to grow, continue to be this consistent, this offense is going to be dynamite, because it's not like it was just the running game. I'm going to talk about Tua in the passing game here in a little bit, but it was a combination of both. And when you have the passing game throw for nearly 300 some yards and 3 touchdowns, and you're still getting damn near 200 yards on the ground, that is the definition of efficiency. There's only so many plays. There's only so many drives in a game. So in order to be this efficient on offense, which I'm kind of spoiling another one, I'm going to talk about that as well. This is the exact way that Mike McDaniel is scheming this up. Jeff Wilson said it before. He looks like he's been here since day one. He's decisive, decent speed, consistently looked like he was going to make these runs go for even farther than they already did. And then the 1-2 punch, Raheem Mostert, he gets his hole. He hits the hole decisively. No one touched him. That guy's speed. We talk about Tyreek and Waddle speed all the time. And you know where this is going. Raheem Mostert is on the same path as those guys when it comes to speed. So like I said, this is what we are getting with Mike McDaniel. When everything is clicking, this is how the offense looks. And tell you what, it is a thing of beauty. I'm going to drink to that again. The taste of victory. My next top takeaway. Garrett, Clowney, where are you? Shout out to Teron Armstead, Brandon Shell, and the Dolphins offensive line. Seriously, we swallowed these guys up. They combined for 3 tackles, no sacks, no quarterback hits. That was one of my keys to the games earlier in the week in my preview videos. I honestly had to check Twitter. I searched their names. I wanted to know if they went missing. I needed to know if they were active today, because the offensive line put on an absolute clinic. As a unit, we allowed 1 sack. Do you remember what sack that was? It was on Cedric Wilson, which I kind of have issue with that play call to begin with, but I'm not going to nitpick on 1 failed trick play when our offense was as good as it was today. But 1 sack, and it was on the Cedric Wilson play, the run blocking. As we already covered, unreal, best we've seen all season. Tua had some pressure, but it was nothing overwhelming that he couldn't overcome. You're going to have pressure every single game. There is a defense on the other side, but the offensive, that was a good defensive line. The Cleveland Browns have a good defensive line, and for our offensive line to step up the way that it did and handle especially Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney, hats off to them. And now we get the bye week to get Austin Jackson healthy. And at this point, we can figure out what we want to do. Does he go back to right tackle? Do you slot him in at left guard? Is he a depth piece? We've got time to figure that out now because we get an extra week to get him rested and to see how things are going. But I'm excited to see how the metrics come back on the offensive line play this week, because sometimes it's hard to judge that kind of performance based on your first watch of it. But I imagine that we are going to get some pretty solid grades back this week. Let's check out. I got another comment here. We want to see here. You take a drink and I take a puff. Hey, I love that. I'll take another one just for it. You can have another puff. Well done. We got a comment here from Chad as well. Developing a run game. Now play action is going to freeze the safeties and linebackers. Play action can be a real threat now. Hill, Waddle, company have more open opportunities. And that's what I've been clamoring for this entire time. Look, I kept saying, like, our passing game is effective and as good as it has been without that huge threat of a running game. And now guess what's on tape? Mostert, Wilson, huge running lanes. That's only going to make that play action all that much more effective moving forward. What a great day. Just a great offensive day. Let's talk about that offense. Tua on the offensive efficiency, 25 of 32, 285 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 135 quarterback rating. That's today. 3 touchdowns in each of his last 3 games, 285 passing yards or more in each of his last 3 games, a completion percentage above 70 in each of his last 3 games, a quarterback rating above 135 in each of his last 3 games, no interceptions each of his last 3 games, and he's been sacked a total of twice last 3 games. Are you smiling? You should be smiling and you should be drinking. And after bake, go ahead and take another puff. I said puff. I got excited. But I want to tell you about my favorite Tua moments, I think, from today's game. And it was right before halftime. He hits Waddle on that sideline throw on the right sideline there with incredible accuracy. That ball, when it was thrown from the live shot, looked like it was kind of perfect opportunity for the cornerback to undercut that and take it to the house, pick 6 style. When they reversed the camera angle, you could see that ball wasn't even close to the cornerback. It was in a perfect spot for Waddle to extend his arms, catch that ball, and get up for the first down. Literally couldn't have taken the ball over to and handed it to him any cleaner than that. I thought that was going to be the throw of the day. And what did he do? He followed it up with an absolute dime to Trent Sherfield in the corner of the end zone. 2 incredible passes with just pinpoint accuracy. And I thought those are my favorite plays of the day for him. And it just sort of summarized what we've seen from him, not only from today, but from the last 3 games. And here's the best thing, offensive efficiency. We didn't punt today, not even once. They said Thomas Morstead might as well kept his street clothes on out there, and I couldn't agree more with that. I went through the drive-by-drive from the last 2 games in last week's recap video, so I'm not going to do that again. But I do want to talk about today's drives because it's just incredible what we're doing right now. Touchdown, field goal, turnover on downs, which that 4th and 1 call, I really wish you'd keep the ball into his hands in that situation, maybe run a little bit of play action, let him roll out and make a play. But I'm not going to nitpick after what we saw today, so we'll live with that. So it's touchdown, field goal, turnover on downs, touchdown, halftime, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, victory formation. I talked about it on last week's recap video. When I watch an offense, I don't want to just see sporadic scoring here and there and little flashes. What you want to see is consistency. You don't want to see struggle moving the ball. You want to see offense in rhythm. And I use the word flow. And at this point in time, we might overflow. What we've been putting up the last 3 weeks is something that we haven't seen in this generation of Dolphins fans. You literally need to go back to Dan Marino times in order to think about the efficiency we have. But if you just go back on your own time, if you need a reminder, look at the drive-by drives from the Lions game, the Bears games, and today. Because I think of 15 non-victory formation drives the last 2 weeks, we had scoring opportunities on 13 of them. Now today, runs, scoring opportunity on literally all of them. Scored nearly on all of them if it wouldn't have been over for that turnover on downs, because that was in field goal range as well. I got a few miscellaneous notes here as well, but I want to throw a couple of things up here. Oh, I love it. Tua MVP is more than definitely in the conversation, but Patrick Mahomes is sadly more than likely going to take it. Yeah, I want to get on that. I'm on the Tua MVP wagon. I'm on the Tyreek Hill MVP wagon. I'll take either of those, but yeah, a little bit homerish on that because Mahomes is up there. And here's the deal: when you're the quarterback and you're a producing quarterback on an undefeated team, Jalen Hurts is going to be up there as well. But here's the deal, man: we got Tua doing all this stuff, missing 2+ games as well. So keep an eye on that moving forward. Pretty pumped. Fins up from Laredo, Texas. Appreciate that. Hands up. Got the Texas love in the house all day. Appreciate you guys following. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you are doing that. I'll go back to the comments once more before this, but I want to talk about one more thing before I wrap things up for today. I absolutely wanted to see a couple of different things today, but one thing that I definitely wanted to see today was what would happen if the Miami Dolphins had the ball on offense before halftime. And what they did couldn't have happened more perfectly than what I wanted to happen, because that is the point in the games when we have seen the offense and the time management struggle multiple times now this season. But you know what we did? We focused on scoring. We didn't focus on getting the clock all the way under 10, 15 seconds. We put the focus on scoring the ball. We did that, and we left a little bit of time left on the clock. But I've just been getting gray trying to tell this team that, you know what? You don't need to bleed the clock all the way to 10 seconds or below. You have a defense. Go ahead and rely on your defense. So what did we do? We scored before halftime, gave the ball back to Cleveland, literally got them to go like 3 and out, or to the point where they had a couple of penalties they ended up having to take a knee. You relied on the defense, and your defense did its job exactly what you wanted it to. And then guess what? You got the ball to open the second half, and you scored. So like I said, that is exactly what I wanted to see from this team today, and we got it as well. Let's throw a couple more things up here as well. I love this one. Thank you, Chris Greer, for trading for Wilson. Zone read looked like the 49ers, and absolutely it did. Like I said, those run lanes were something special today. And Jeff Wilson, the way he was hitting those holes, quite honestly, the dude looks like a monster. He absolutely looks huge going through there. And like I said, he averaged, 7 yards per carry or whatever it was today. It could have been more. I think he probably feels like he left a few yards out there today, but I'm not going to throw any shade at any running back, any offensive lineman today. Today's a day of celebration. One other drink here. Absolutely. Inside info from Chad. Miami has already reached out to 2 different kickers for tryouts. And yeah, I kind of meant to hit on Jason Sanders, but at the end of the day, like I said, I just wanted to have a good time. I just wanted to, and that's not a shot at you, Chad, either. I just wanted to really enjoy the day and not think about any of the negativity. And honestly, I thought Jason Sanders might get the opportunity to skate a little bit just because we won by the margin that we did. But you can't be missing extra points. We talked about it in one of the preview videos this week. At some point in time, this guy is going to be asked to make a kick, to tie a game, to take a lead, force overtime, win a game in overtime, what have you. You need to be able to do it. And what's the excuse today? Was there a gust of wind? I think it's a mental thing. And I don't know if that you just get over that. Maybe the bye week, maybe he needs the bye week just as much as our secondary does. Because like you said, we lost Keon Crossan again today. We'll have to see how that goes. Noah Igbenogany was a healthy scratch. So we'll have to see what things kind of transpire here from the from the bye week, but we'll have to keep an eye on that kicker position as well, because Jason Sanders, like I said, kind of, I don't want to say the word that he ruined it, but he kind of spoiled an otherwise perfect day as a Miami Dolphins fan. But let's take this win for what it is, Dolphins fans. 4-game winning streak, alone atop of the AFC East. I want to say thanks to each and every single one of you that has subscribed, everyone that was tuning in live today, everyone that checks this out as the recording, anyone that's sending comments. 2,000 subscribers is awesome. I'm so jacked about that. So if you haven't subscribed yet, continue to do it. Got a lot more planned for the future. Looking to incorporate more live streams moving forward as well. But I'm going to let you go for today. Enjoy some more football here. I did see one. I'm going to give Chad the redeemer here. Bad timing to post that. I won't do that anymore. Like I said, not your fault, Chad. Someone had to say it. Someone had to. Someone has to point out some of the flaws today. But we drink, we take puffs, whatever your vice is. Go ahead, just do your thing, man. I'll leave it there for today, though, Dolphins fans. And until next time, fins up.